The Rock is not returning to WWE alone. Condolences to Drew McIntyre. Dominik Mysterio is slated to dethrone a top WWE champion. USA Network sends a message on Gunther getting into a verbal altercation backstage. Xavier Woods needs to chill out. Is Big E not wrestling for WWE again? Why CM Punk must lose the Hell in a Cell match at Bad Blood? The WWE is ending a huge Bad Blood tradition because of Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. Roman Reigns is not winning the Undisputed WWE Championship anytime soon. Let's dive right in. Condolences to Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre has suffered a major personal loss ahead of his match against CM Punk at WWE Bad Blood. Drew's brother, John Galloway, took to social media to share the heartbreaking news of their aunt's death. McIntyre is currently involved in a feud with CM Punk. The duo have been at each other's throats for several months and will get a chance to settle their score inside the Hell in a Cell structure at Bad Blood. Both men currently have a win against each other, and the match at the upcoming Premium Live event will determine who walks away with the bragging rights. However, the Scottish Warrior just suffered a personal setback ahead of the bout. His brother John Galloway took to X, formerly Twitter, stating that their aunt had passed away. The post seemingly suggests that their aunt was close to them and took care of them after their mother died in 2012. While Drew McIntyre and CM Punk have gone toe-to-toe in their fierce rivalry, we will get a clear winner on Saturday when they step inside the Hell in a Cell structure. While there is no clear favorite heading into the match, WWE veteran Dutch Mantel believes that the best in the world will walk out with the win at Bad Blood. I think CM Punk gets his hand raised, but they have been booking this match. CM Punk and his opponent laughs. I can't remember nobody's name anyway. I bet they booked this 30 times, back and forth, late night phone calls. What do you think about this? But I think CM Punk wins it, and where else can they go with this besides Punk winning? He stated. The rivalry between Drew McIntyre and CM Punk began at WWE Royal Rumble earlier this year when the Scottish Warrior took pride in injuring Punk. The best in the world has since cost McIntyre the world title on multiple occasions. Their feud is likely to culminate at Bad Blood on October 5th. Dominik Mysterio is slated to dethrone a top WWE champion. Dominik Mysterio hasn't looked back since joining the Judgment Day a few years ago. It looks like the third-generation wrestler is next in line to become the Intercontinental Champion, a title that Jey Uso currently holds. The Yeet Master and Dominic have crossed paths several times in the past. In fact, Mysterio even tried to lure Jey into the Judgment Day when the former Bloodline member moved to Raw last year. While one half of the Usos didn't join the villainous faction, he eventually developed some on-screen chemistry with former Judgment Day member Rhea Ripley. At SummerSlam this year, Dominik Mysterio chose Liv Morgan over Rhea Ripley in one of the biggest storyline swerves in recent memory. Since being kicked out, the Nightmare and Damian Priest have been in a deeply personal feud with the Judgment Day. Jey Uso has also gotten involved in the feud lately due to his connection with Ripley. Zero News recently shared a photoshopped image of Dominic holding the Intercontinental Championship. This could be a potential spoiler on the Judgment Day member being the one to end the fairy tale title run of Main Event Jey. Dominik Mysterio is in the front and center of the ongoing feud between Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. At the Bad Blood Premium Live event on October 5th, the Eradicator will have another crack at Liv Morgan's WWE Women's World Championship. However, this time Dom won't be lurking around, as he will be suspended above the ring in a shark cage. Meanwhile, Finn Balor will face Damian Priest in a singles match. The feud between the two men has been brewing since the Prince cost the Archer of Infamy his World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam. It will be interesting to see how the next chapter of their storyline will unfold at Bad Blood. USA Network sends a message on Gunther getting into a verbal altercation backstage. The USA Network's official Instagram handle has recently sent a message after WWE superstar Gunther got involved in a heated verbal altercation. The Ring General is one of the biggest heels in the Stamford-based promotion. After dethroning Damian Priest as the World Heavyweight Champion at SummerSlam 2024, Gunther showcased why he is one of the biggest names on the roster by retaining the title against Randy Orton at the Bash in Berlin Premium Live event. Since then, the Imperium leader has defended his gold against multiple opponents on live events and is now set to lock horns with Sami Zayn on next week's edition of Raw. WWE's official Instagram handle recently posted a backstage interview where they asked the talent about something they have bad blood with. When they asked Gunther the question, he got into a heated verbal altercation with the company's social media team. Following this, USA Network's official Instagram handle left a comment on WWE's post, writing that they believe the Ring General was almost ready to hit the interviewer. Gunther was ready to serve up chops, the USA Network wrote. During an interview with Justin Dillon on the Wrestling Classic podcast, Braun Breaker talked about a potential rematch with Jey Uso for the Intercontinental Championship. Breaker mentioned that he could also go after Gunther's World Heavyweight Championship. It's very out in the open time for me right now in terms of, where I'm headed, what's next for me. But I think a lot's at my disposal right now. I think I have options. I can go for the Intercontinental Championship. I have a right to a rematch against Jey Uso. I also could go for Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship, Breaker said. It remains to be seen if Gunther will retain his title against Sami Zayn on next week's edition of Monday Night Raw. Xavier Woods needs to chill out. Xavier Woods has featured prominently on WWE Raw in recent weeks. Legendary wrestling personality Teddy Long is a fan of the New Day member, but thinks he needs to make small adjustments to his performance. Woods has worked for WWE since 2010. On the September 30th episode of Raw, the 38-year-old secured a big win over Rey Mysterio after accidentally removing his opponent's mask. Long appeared on Sportskeeda's The Wrestling Time Machine alongside host Mac Davis. The WWE Hall of Famer gave Woods some advice on pacing and how he sells offense from in-ring rivals. Xavier, great guy, really like him, Long said. I think he just needs to slow down just a little bit. He kinda oversells a little bit for me, you know what I mean? But relax, Xavier, it's gonna be alright, playa. But other than that, two great, outstanding people, man, Xavier and Kofi Kingston. Is Big E not wrestling for WWE again? Big E has not wrestled since suffering a broken neck on the March 11th, 2022 episode of WWE SmackDown. WWE Hall of Famer Teddy Long recently gave his thoughts on whether the New Day member could make an in-ring return. In September, Big E told Kyle Odegaard of Sports Talk Philly that he will undergo neck scans in the next 6 months. The results will determine whether he stands a realistic chance of wrestling again. Long appeared on Sportskeeda's The Wrestling Time Machine with Mac Davis. Discussing Big E's future, he used Edge and Kurt Angle as examples to show that wrestlers have returned from serious injuries in the past. Well, that's gonna kinda be left up to Big E and his doctors, Long said. He's on that that no-touch list. I don't know whether he's cleared or not. It may be where Big E, it's up to you. You take your chances. I think Kurt Angle did that. I think he had been advised not to wrestle anymore, and I think if I can remember, I think that was with Edge also, that he had been advised to not compete anymore. And him and Kurt both, they got back in the ring. They took their chances. Wrestling Time Machine host Mac Davis was once advised to stop wrestling after undergoing neck surgery. However, he decided to step back into the ring due to his passion for performing. Based on his own experiences, Davis appreciates the difficult position Big E currently finds himself in. My neck had surgery on it from wrestling, and after the surgery, the doctor was very clear, you don't need to get back in there anymore after this. I still got back in there for a few more matches because of the love of the business. In the same episode, Teddy Long recalled how he told two female wrestlers they had a horrible match. Do you think Big E will wrestle for WWE again? Why CM Punk must lose the Hell in a Cell match at Bad Blood. A former WWE employee picked Drew McIntyre to beat CM Punk at Bad Blood this coming Saturday in Atlanta, Georgia. Vince Russo explained why the Second City Saint should lose the feud, despite being the heavy favorite to win the match. The feud between McIntyre and Punk has been ongoing since January, with the two superstars having one win each. The Scottish Warrior won their first matchup at SummerSlam with Seth Rollins as the special guest referee. The straight-edge superstar got his revenge by winning the strap match at Bash in Berlin. Their Bad Blood match will be inside Hell in a Cell, which will likely put an end to the feud. Vince Russo went against the odds and picked McIntyre to beat CM Punk at Bad Blood. Here's what the former WWE writer said on the latest episode of the Coach and Bro Wrestling Show on Sportskeeda's Backstage Pass. I'm gotta be honest with you. I'm betting on Drew because they beat Drew to death. They beat Drew to death. He's lost every single time. He's gotta get his hand raised in one of these times. I think that is the safe bet. Being Hell in a Cell, there's a million ways you could beat Punk without hurting him. Jonathan Coachman added that Drew McIntyre signed a new long-term contract. Plus, he was in a Hollywood movie with Batista, so he also predicted a loss for CM Punk. The WWE is ending a huge Bad Blood tradition because of Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. WWE Bad Blood is going to be epic, and it's thanks in part to Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. The once bitter rivals will be teaming up to form a super team as they take on Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu of the Bloodline. However, their groundbreaking partnership may cause WWE to end a long-standing Bad Blood tradition. Bad Blood has been hosted by WWE on 3 different occasions. October 5th, 2024 in Atlanta, Georgia will be the 4th. One thing each of the last 3 Bad Blood PLEs had in common was the main event. Each of them was a Hell in a Cell match, but thanks to Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes, that might be about to change. Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes are undoubtedly the top 2 stars in WWE right now. If you have a PLE featuring both of them, you are sure to draw in a large crowd. Considering this, it is logical to include both of them in the main event. Many reports have indicated that this will indeed happen, which could mean that the tradition of having a Hell in a Cell match as the main event at Bad Blood by the Stamford-based promotion might come to an end. That being said, there will be a Hell in a Cell match at Bad Blood. After all, it's inside the devilish structure that CM Punk and Drew McIntyre will settle their differences. But, for those disappointed, there is still hope for a Hell in a Cell main event, especially seeing as this is no more than speculation at this point. One of the reasons why this team-up between Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns is such a huge attraction is because of their history. The two have faced off twice on the grandest stage of them all, and both times there was nothing but animosity between them. With that in mind, many are wondering if they will have any success this week at Bad Blood. Well, the American Nightmare shed some light on his relationship with the original Tribal Chief recently. While he made no claims that they were friends, he did acknowledge that Reigns brings something out of him. To be precise, he stated that when they're across the ring from each other, there has always been a spark. This Saturday, sparks will definitely fly in the ring. Bad Blood is bound to be an incredible PLE. The only question is, will it end in triumph or disaster for Rhodes and Reigns? Roman Reigns is not winning the undisputed WWE Champion anytime soon. Former undisputed Universal Champion Roman Reigns made his much-awaited return to WWE at SummerSlam 2024. He launched an attack on Solo Sikoa and made it clear that before reclaiming the world title, he wanted his Ula Fala and position of Tribal Chief back from his cousin. Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns later decided to join forces to take on their common nemesis in the form of the Solo Sikoa-led Bloodline in a tag team match at Bad Blood 2024 next month. Last week on the Blue Brand, the Stamford-based promotion showcased a cinematic segment between the American Nightmare and the original Tribal Chief, where they agreed on having each other's back for the bout. The reason Reigns might not reclaim the title anytime soon is that the company may have other plans for both the OTC and Rhodes. Last week, Roman Reigns made it clear that he wants to get his title back from Cody Rhodes. He warned the American Nightmare that once he is done with the family issue, he is coming back for his lost championship. Fans are wondering when the head of the table will eventually reclaim the title. It looks like the 39-year-old might not get the undisputed WWE Championship back anytime soon. The main reason behind it is that the original Tribal Chief's involvement in the Bloodline saga is likely going to be a long-term storyline and might continue till WrestleMania 41. The OTC will potentially lock horns with Solo Sikoa and Co. in an attempt to get back the Ula Fala, and many twists and turns await. Some emotional reunions, shocking betrayals, long-term storytelling, and new debuts are to be expected. On the other hand, Cody Rhodes teaming up with Roman Reigns might upset multiple superstars. The company has already shown tension between Kevin and the American Nightmare since the tag match at Bad Blood 2024 was announced. In a recent episode of the Blue Brand, Randy Orton was seen visibly upset with his old faction mate for aligning himself with one of their bitter rivals. Rhodes may make new enemies and get into rivalries that could keep him away from Reigns for a long period. Ultimately, the Stamford-based promotion could book Cody Rhodes versus The Rock and Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa for WrestleMania 41, keeping the OTC out of the title picture for a prolonged period. Bad Blood 2024 will be Roman Reigns' first in-ring appearance since WrestleMania 40. Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio claimed that the 39-year-old former champion could compete at the upcoming Crown Jewel 2024 PLE, which is set to take place on November 2, 2024, at the Mohammed Abdo Arena in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. The same report has claimed the OTC would definitely compete at Survivor Series 2024. Roman is probably working the Saudi Arabia show. They got him working Atlanta, and he's definitely working the Survivor Series show. They got him advertised for that, he said. The possibilities are high that Roman Reigns might lock horns with either Jacob Fatu or Solo Sikoa in a singles bout at Crown Jewel 2024. Most likely, the Samoan werewolf will take on the original Tribal Chief. The contest would eventually plant seeds for a highly anticipated War Games match at Survivor Series 2024. It will be interesting to watch the journey of Roman Reigns as he aims to climb to the top of the company once again by competing in back-to-back major PLEs. The Rock is not returning to WWE alone. Just days before the Bad Blood Premium Live event, WWE appears to have spilled the beans on The Rock's return. However, if the final boss does show up this Saturday, he may not be alone. The star who could return on the same night as Dwayne Johnson is none other than Paul Heyman. Reigning undisputed WWE champion Cody Rhodes recently appeared on the Pat McAfee show to promote his and Roman Reigns' tag team match against Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu at Bad Blood. The American Nightmare wouldn't be defending his gold this weekend, but revealed that the impending tag team match would have huge title implications for Crown Jewel. After the interview, McAfee told Rhodes he heard a certain big guy was coming back this week. The SmackDown superstar gave a cagey response, leaving fans buzzing over the possibility of The Rock making a surprise appearance at Bad Blood. Despite being absent from TV since the Fallout episode of Raw after WrestleMania 40, The Rock is rumored to be pulling the strings of Solo Sikoa and the New Bloodline, at least in the eyes of the WWE Universe. Yes, the final boss and the original Tribal Chief were on the same page at the Show of Shows earlier this year, but Reigns' title loss changed the complexion of the Bloodline storyline. Solo Sikoa reformed the Bloodline under the premise that losing had consequences. As a result, he kicked Jimmy Uso out of the faction since the latter lost to Jey Uso at WrestleMania 40. Additionally, he stole Roman Reigns' Ula Fala after the OTC was knocked off his perch at the Showcase of the Immortals. And let's not forget, the Brahma Bull did say that he wants to sit at the head of the table earlier this year. The final boss may be the mastermind behind the Bloodline Civil War. Paul Heyman has shown time and again that his allegiance lies with Roman Reigns. As a matter of fact, the WWE Hall of Famer refused to acknowledge Solo Sikoa as his tribal chief this past June. But what if it's all part of a bigger plan? The 59-year-old previously admitted that if he had returned alongside Roman Reigns, it would have meant nothing. In all fairness, the legendary manager has nothing left to contribute to a babyface Roman Reigns. History has shown that Paul Heyman betrays his clients. Interestingly, there have been some rumblings about Paul Heyman managing The Rock upon his return to plant the seeds for a blockbuster program with Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 42. The rumored alliance between The Rock and Paul Heyman would set the stage for the OG Bloodline to get back together. Once Cody Rhodes is done with Solo's Bloodline, Roman Reigns will again be left to fend for himself. Eventually, he would have to make amends with the likes of Jimmy Uso, Jey Uso, and Sami Zayn. However, this is merely a speculation at the moment. Fans will have to tune into Bad Blood to see how the next chapter of the Bloodline storyline unfolds.